We are dedicated, the Mishna Yomis is dedicated Lili Nishmas, Chaim ben Avram ben Yamin Beinish, and for Shleimer, for Eliyah Moshe Milchai Sarah, for the Schos of Avram ben Yamin Beinish b'Malk Yudis and family, also by the Fisher family, Lili Nishmas Basi Bas Rabbi, Shlomo ben Avram Alevi, Perel Bas Ruvain, by Yol Klugman and family, for Meir ben Chai Sarah, and Avigdor Aye ben Rivka. We are finishing the second parak and starting the third parak. So we finished the second parak of Kesuvos with Mishna Yud. Ve'elu ne'emanim lahoid begaidlan. The following are believed to testify when they're an adult. Mashero bekatnan, what they saw when they were a minor, because the following items are only rabbinical, and therefore they could testify now that they're an adult what they saw even when they were a cotton. Neman Adam Leimer, a person is believed to say Zeksav Yadei Shalaba, when authenticating the signature of his father on a document, he could say this is the handwriting of my father, although he only knew it when he was a child. V'Zeksav Yadei Shal Rebbe, or this is the handwriting of my Rebbe, or V'Zeksav Yadei Shal Achi, or this is the handwriting of my brother, even though he only saw them when he was a child, because authentication of signatures is only rabbinical. It is also believed to say, Zachar Ayisi B'Plainis, that I remember that this woman that got married, she yotza b'hinuma, she went out with a veil, or Verosha Perua with uncovered hair, so that she could collect the ksuva of a basula of 200 zuz, because the majority of women get married as a basula. And he's believed to say, V'shoy ish Plaini Yotzim Rebei Sefer, I remember that my classmate was taken out from cheder, litfol, to immerse in the mikvah lechol b'truma, that he should be able to eat truma. So he's believed to testify that he's a kohen, at least that he should be able to eat truma d'rabbanan. Or v'shaya chaylik imanu ala gairin, or he could say, I remember that he got truma with us at the threshing floor. Or he's also allowed to say, v'amakom hazeh beis hapras, this area had a grave plowed up in it, and therefore it's tamei 100 amas in each direction, since that's a tumah d'rabbanan. Va'ad kana yitnu bon b'Shabbos, and until here we went on Shabbos, because this man Yama holds that tchum is d'rabbanan. Avalein adam neman leimer, but he's not believed to say derech haya leploini b'makom hazeh. He's not believed to say that this person had a path through this other person's field, or or that this person owned this area for mamodos to do the 7 stops for the family members that died. They would make 7 stops and say Yosh B'Seiser 7 times, or mispate, or for a family eulogy, they own this place, because this is Davish B'Mamain. This is a matter of money, and ain't Davish B'Mamain ela b'shnayim, with 2 adults. We start the third parak. Now we know that in a case of rape, the rapist has to pay a knas of 50 shkalim. If she's a nara and a virgin, he has to marry her if she and her father consent, and never divorce her. Now, Elu Na'aris, now, since he has to marry her, we would think that there's no knas if the person can't marry her. The chiddush is that even though he can't marry her, there's still a knas. Elu Na'aris sheyesh lehem knas. The following maidens have a knas. Habal mamzeres, if he rapes a mamzeres, so even though he's a Yisrael, he can't marry her. Valasino, he rapes a ger givayni, even though he can't marry her. Or valakusis, he has to pay the 50 shkalim. Now, the Rav says over here that he can't marry the kusis because the author of this Mishnah holds that the kusim were geirei aroyes, were not sincere converts. They only converted because of pachad aroyes, because of the fear of the lions, and therefore you can't marry, because considered a guy. Now, the Mefarshim asked, then if that's the case, why should there be a knas? You don't have to pay a knas to a guy, so that's a problem with the pshat of the Rav. If he rapes a convert, a captive, or a maidservant, sheniptu v'shenisgairu v'shenishtakru, that was the captive was ransomed, the goya was converted, the shivcha was emancipated, younger than 3 years old in one day. So even though we could assume that they were molested, but since they converted, were ransomed, or emancipated before they were 3 years old in one day, the virginity grows back, and therefore we could assume that they're a virgin, and therefore you have to pay. Similarly, if somebody sleeps with his sister, or his father's sister, his mother's sister, his wife's sister, his brother's wife, his father's brother's wife, or malanina, or a menstruant. So first of all, he can't marry it. Most of these women. So you would think if you can't marry, maybe there's no knas. Second of all, there's an issue of spiritual death. We might think, therefore, you don't pay. Yeshlam knas, there's a knas, because afal pisha ain bekaris, even though there's spiritual death, ain ba misas bezdin. There's no death at the hand of the human court, and the only time we say kam leiber de rabamine, that if you forfeit your life, you don't pay, is only with a capital crime in the human court. But although a person gets for the sin karis, he still has to pay. So therefore, if he sleeps with any of these that are karis, he still has to pay the knas. We want to remind you that if you would like to sponsor the upcoming shir on Va'era, 718-916-3100, rmmwsi@aol.com. Thank you for joining us, and have a wonderful night.